Hi, and it's Thursday, and I'm glad that you're here. We've almost made it through this week, and we're closer to getting back to our normal lives, and we'll soon be gathering together as a church. But even when we do, I think this form of discussion and video devotional will carry on. I'm having a good time doing it. We're hearing back from some of you, and we're grateful for the impact that it has had. At the end of the Lord's Prayer, Jesus has a short paragraph in chapter 6 in Matthew about forgiveness. And he says, forgive others because we will be forgiven as we forgive others. Now, there's an interesting word picture there. It's the same measuring stick you use for someone else will be the same stick that's used for you. If you go up to someone and judge their life and say you pass or you fail, then that same expectation, that same judgment bar that you use for them will be the one that God places on you. So your generosity of forgiveness opens up the generosity of God for your forgiveness. And you do know what clogs up the pipe, right? If there is this pipe, this river that we keep talking about that flows from the throne of God through Jesus Christ, through the living church, and then, of course, through you and me, and then through us throughout our communities and neighborhoods, what will stop that pipe from flowing is pride. Some of us think that we have been hurt worse than anybody has ever been hurt in the world, that our pain is worse than anybody's. Nobody has ever been hurt like us. And because of that, we just can't bring ourselves to forgive this other person. That's not being a victim. That's being prideful. That's being so proud of your pain that you don't think anybody else understands it. It's kind of a perverse, backward kind of pride, but it is pride. And that same pride then keeps you from asking forgiveness because you've been wounded to the point that it's the worst ever. Then maybe Jesus would need a special exemption from you as someone who was wounded, and maybe you don't need to be forgiven. See what happens? It stops the flow. And it is the pride that you have in the wound that you have. Because see, forgiving somebody, that is an act of humility. That is an act of, I'm going to release you from fixing what is in me. I want you to go on and live your life, and I want you to live well. And I'm going to go back to Jesus, and we're going to sit and talk about what's going on inside of me, because you can't fix what's inside of me. See the way humility works? Pride means, you got to fix what you did because I've been hurt worse than anybody. Well, that stops the whole life force from flowing in you and through you, and it stops because you can't forgive the other person. Now, let's remember what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is releasing the other person from the expectation they can fix what they did. Somebody hurts you. They say something that wounds you. And they come to you and say, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. And they may be very serious and mean it, but you're still hurt. The pain is still there, and it's still yours to deal with. That's where you go to Jesus in prayer and you say, listen, this is where I was. This is what that person said. This is how I was hurt. And you let Jesus bring healing and compassion to that moment, and you are restored. The other person can't do it. Jesus is the only person that can do it. That's why we release them from that expectation. I'm not looking for you to do it anymore. You're forgiven. I'm going to go find the healing I need in my relationship with Jesus Christ. So Jesus said, I'll forgive you the same way that you forgive the people who hurt you. Now, question, who is it now that you need to forgive? Who is it now that you need to release so you can finally find the healing you're looking for? I'll give you about 60 seconds, and I'll see you tomorrow.